What's up, YouTube? You're Inside the Edge, and I'm back with another video. Today we're going to talk about Teddy Bridgewater. He has just been named the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos. It's been a toss-up between him and Andrew Luck for these past couple of weeks, but as of right now, we know he's officially a starter. I know a lot of Bronco fans, they feel some type. They feel like Drew Lock should have won the starting position, or just some people are just saying like we still don't have a quarterback. But as of right now, man, I think the Broncos did the best they could in this offseason, just because when you really look at for what was available, I mean, Teddy Bridgewater, they had to trade to get him because there wasn't really no top, good free agent quarterbacks that were really available. So, I mean, for them to make this move, I think it was just really, to really start it off with, I think it was a red flag for even the Carolina Panthers to even trade just to allow to bring in Sam Darnold. I mean, we already know Sam Darnold. You could come up with a lot of just his situation with the Jets and just how bad, the Jets been. It had just been a dysfunctional franchise, and, it just wasn't a good fit for him, obviously. So it's just kind of insane how, the Carolina Panthers gave up Teddy Bridgewater just to get Sam Darnold. So it just made me really dissect more about last year for Teddy Bridgewater. Then we could get into the Broncos, but just looking at Teddy Bridgewater last year, what he's done, I mean, I'll just go off of the stats from what I've seen, but he completed 69% of his passes. He threw for 3,733 yards with 15 touchdowns. He did throw 11 interceptions, and I think that's like the biggest downhill when it comes to Teddy Bridgewater is the interception, it's the turnover rate, because he's a good quarterback, but what could really get him to that next level if he can decrease the interceptions, not force things, And at the same time, just looking for where he was at, being with Carolina. I mean, I think he played really well last year. He had a good season. It wasn't great, but it was a good season for what he had. If you look at the weapons he had DJ Moore, he had Robbie Anderson, and he used them to a full capacity. And just looking at just the recovery of losing Cam 2 seasons ago, like last year was just like a whole new rebrand, reconstruction, whatever you want to call it. But I think Teddy Bridgewater was in a good position, and I think if he stayed, I think it was a mistake for the Panthers to let him go, because for what he was working with and Christian McCaffrey, I'm not sure what happened with Christian McCaffrey, because I know he wasn't available for a couple games, and that ended up hurting him. And just having a new coach and stuff, I just felt like for what Teddy was doing, I mean, he was utilizing the offense to his best ability, and they obviously didn't have a good record. I believe the Carolina Panthers was 5-11, but you also got to look at the teams that they were playing. So for me, I did a little dissecting. I was looking at a lot of the highlights of what Teddy Bridgewater do, that what was good about his game and what's bad about his game, but. Him coming to Denver, I think it's a really big step up, because like I mentioned before, it wasn't really much available for free agencies and for quarterbacks to really get someone. We already know how much the Broncos been struggling for so many years to get a quarterback, but Teddy Bridgewater, I think he's gonna really utilize the players that he has now, and just looking at this team with what Denver has, I mean, Melvin Gordon, I believe he's gonna have a better year than last year. Last year I believe he was banged up. And even the reason why he left the Chargers, it wasn't because he was a scrub or anything. He left the Chargers just because, the money situation wasn't right. So he had, somewhat of a standoff between, I respect him, man. He had a standoff. He was on some like, oh, hold up, Muhammad Ali. He was on some Muhammad Ali stuff. Melvin Gordon was like, nah, man, I'm not, if y'all not paying me, like, nah, I'm not playing. So he sat out, and he really sat out like almost an entire season because of the whole money situation. But Melvin Gordon, I believe he's going to be healthy, and what's so good about him is he's a guy that can run with the football and also be a receiving back. So I think that's what's going to help Teddy Bridgewater. And you obviously have Cortland Sutton, you have Jerry Judas, RJ Hamler. I probably said his name wrong, but he's named as a starter. I don't know how good he is. I never really heard of him, but he's going to be good. Noah Fant. I probably said his name wrong too, but I mean, I remember I had Noah. I remember I had him at tight end in my fantasy team. And he's a guy that's not just a blocking tight end, but he can also be a receiving tight end as well. So I think that will help Teddy Bridgewater. And we already just know how great this defense is. I mean, this Broncos defense has always been good. Last year I even counted them as a sleeper team, because I'm like, this defense is, they have Von Miller, and this defense has always been good. It's just always been the offensive side of the football team that's been holding them back for so many years. But overall, I think this defense is going to be a top defense. But But with Teddy Bridgewater, I think he's gonna really reconstruct this team and this offense. And the biggest thing I would say with Teddy Bridgewater is, again, he has the arm, he has the talent. One thing I would say is he needs to just bring in that leadership. How can he build team chemistry? I mean, he did it with what he had last year. I mean, he really built a good chemistry with Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. So if he's doing it with those guys, I mean, for sure, I think he can do it with Judy. Even this guy Tim Patrick at receiver. I mean, last year Tim Patrick, I believe he's 6'4". I mean, this guy, he can play. So I know he's not like a starter, but this guy has potential. So he has some weapons to work with. I think he's really gonna just try to dissect this team and see what this team can do best. I think running the football is something that is going to have to really be a big thing for this Broncos offense, is running the football. Teddy Bridgewater, he's a guy where, he's not there yet where he can lead you to the promised land. He's a guy that can move the chains, get you first downs, throw for short yardage, and that's what they need to stick on. I think that's how this offense is going to build. Just trying to, figure out, screen plays, bubble plays, things to get wide receivers going, and, short slants. One thing I was seeing about last year when he was in Carolina was with Robbie Anderson. A lot of the plays, Robbie Anderson was just, he's a speedster, and it'll just be quick slants, and he'll make something out of nothing. So I think if the Broncos can get plays in open field and allow guys to make plays after the catch, I think this team will be, successful. But as far as winning and making the playoffs, I think it's going to be challenging just because of the division that they're in. The Raiders, I know they have a lot to prove. The Chargers have a lot to prove, and obviously, the Chiefs and stuff. We already know how good the Chiefs are. So I know it's going to be a toss-up year for that division because so many teams, at least the top three bottom teams, they have a lot to prove. And the Chargers, they want to be better. The Raiders, so it's going to be a real big challenge. And overall, like I said, the Chiefs is in that division. So that's pretty much what I wanted to just have. I just wanted to just have my whole input on this. It's still a lot to be, going on. It's still, preseason and stuff. And, we're making that transition, man. Football is coming back, but I just thought I wanted to just make this video for you guys. You guys tell me what you guys think. Or, do you think that the Broncos could have got even a better quarterback? Or do you think Drew Lock should have started? You guys give me your opinions. Who's a guy that you think is going to have, or who do you even think is going to be the #1 receiver? I mean, Sutton, he's coming back from a torn ACL injury, but I know he's been playing in preseason and he's been practicing with the team. So it looks like, he's going to come back to a full recovery. So we're going to see who's going to be the #1 receiver. But for you guys, next time, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I'm going to be talking a lot more football. Football season's coming up. So I'm excited, guys. See you guys on my next video. And peace.